So there's been a lot of controversy over this little Nicky boy. Z6 III, a lot of people are reporting flashing shadows and dynamic range is not good enough, and the ISO noise, oh my god, is it worth buying? For people who just point the thing and use it, pretty good. If you're a scientist and you're just like measuring the shadows of your cat versus the highlight of your sun, okay, you might have some issues, but for normal people, we go over it today.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Now, I personally wouldn't be caught dead filming myself on a Nikon. We're on the Canon C100 Mark II, of course. EF 24mm 1.4 at Tony 2, just in case that I might be in focus here. There's only a tiny little box. And if I'm even remotely outside it, Canon chooses something else. And even if it does, it might choose my ears. So like maybe we're in focus. So I did something novel. I went outside and used the camera in the real world, and we got a bunch of footage. I did a bunch of slow-mo street videography with the 40mm Tony 2. I'm sorry I don't have a ISO comparison in my bathroom of all the shadow noise for you, and then slowly ramping it up with a candle nearby. I know that's what we all dreamed to film, but I actually used it and got people in slow motion. I'm so sorry. So in the real world, here we have it. Nikon Z6 III, 40mm Tony 2. We got a little glimmer glass filter on there. A couple Thai women maybe running for their lives. Man, it just looks beautiful, doesn't it? Like, what could you complain? All these little, oh, dynamic range. Well, there's a white shirt and it's not clipping and it's good. We're in HD 240p, it's not even raw. And what I noticed was, for the most part, Nikon autofocus, fantastic. Fantastic. Panasonic wouldn't be doing this for you. Oh, I have 300 frames per second, but we don't have autofocus in that mode. Did you need autofocus? Yeah, kinda did. It's a bit of a deal breaker, panty boy. Now the king of this slow motion street videography, of course, is the Sony A7S III, and now the ZVE1, probably even better. It's even lighter and has better autofocus. Zero reason to use the A7S III. I wasn't like viewfinding people. Oh my god, look at you. I went outside the focus box. Nikon. So does Nikon do it better? Am I happier with the Nikon? Because I do prefer Nikon color science in a lot of ways. The funny thing is, I noticed everybody's skin tone looked beautiful. It's just my face on Nikon. It's like, oh, it's all red. I didn't see anyone's red face here. What's wrong with my face? Something? Uh-oh. Now the Stabe, however, not always the best. I had a woman here, she had the tightest shorts you ever seen. I was like, okay, a bit creepy here, but we're going for it. Come on, give me the shot. What are you doing, IBIS? Come on, and boom. It smoothed out for just enough. And then it was over, quickly, very quickly. I thought it would have lasted longer, that moment, but it did not. And so, Nikon Stabe, it kind of let me down a lot. Like, there was just a lot of jerky moments. I was on a skateboard, too. It was somewhat, you had a chance. I wasn't, like, walking towards people. I was on a skateboard, slowly. It's not good, IBIS. For telephoto, maybe Panasonic level is really good. But, like, anything wide sucks. As the tattoo lady waves at me, unconsciously, not knowing I was there, but wanting me to leave her alone. Her mind could sense that I was there, even though she couldn't see me. This woman was all in black, but she would have looked better in pink. Pink and light blue, I think, is what I would have dressed her in. But sorry for pointing at your ass. I didn't mean that. Part of me did mean it, if I'm being honest with you, but we got the shot. It's not eye detecting her yet. She wore pink. Maybe she should switch outfits with the other one, because there's a whole thing where some colors fit other people better. I think they should have switched outfits. And this guy, I don't know, he looks all right. It's almost pink. I saw a man feeding pigeons. The IBIS let us down there in the beginning, but eventually it smoothed out. We had a moment. It wasn't the best moment, wasn't the best framing, because I'm not looking at him. I'm not like looking at my screen and trying to frame it. I'm like hoping to God he doesn't see me while I'm filming him, so I'm not looking. And I look away just to distract them from, oh, he's looking over there. There's no way he's filming me. He's pointing his camera, but that's just how he's holding it. What? I'm just holding it. After using this thing for like a month, in all scenarios, for in-studio work, for vlogging, for wildlife, for the slow-motion street videography stuff, is Nikon, I don't know where I even rank them. Like, they're good in some ways, but not as good in others. Like, for studio, I prefer Canon and Sony. For vlogging, this is one of the worst stabs in the business. So like, Sony is better, any other company is better. The Canon V10 is better. When it comes to like wildlife, you lead the industry. You are the best I've ever seen. Wow. For slow motion street videography, so far Sony is better than you. Just the stabe for some reason. You would think Nikon stabe. So it's like you're not the best in any area, but you're okay in most areas. And you could use it as your one camera for everything except vlogging, I think. It's just the stabe is so bad that you wouldn't vlog with it. Autofocus is usually pretty good. I would say it's maybe third place. We got Sony is better, Canon's better, Nikon's right there, maybe. This guy was dancing and likely on drugs, but that's fine. I was hoping he didn't see me because he might have killed me for drug money. I did possess quite a bit of it in my pocket, if I'm being honest with you, so I just did not look at him, but Nikon did actually not very good at all. He's not even close to in focus. Oh, that's a bitch. That's a problem. Here's a seizure warning. I gave you plenty of time notice, so if you're drop dead on the floor right now, that's your fault for not reacting quick enough to the pause button. But honestly, I don't think I would take this combo out again just due to the stabe. Like, it's a bit of a deal breaker. There's just so many moments where it just shifts in the shot, and the slower the slow motion, usually you don't notice stabe like that, but I notice it almost every single shot, and it's like this jerky little moment where I never see that in the Sony. So if you're to do this type of work on a skateboard for some reason, I think you would need a stabilized lens, maybe the 105mm macro. I almost bought it. It's got stabe and it's like, okay, 100mm, super sharp, but it had no pop. I looked it up, popless. No thank you. Look at this Terminator couple. They shot laser beams into my eyes, and it was fantastic. I was bleeding from the eyes, but I still got the shot. In my opinion, these stacked sensors never do good things. We're not there yet for that technology. Fuji X-H2S had the worst looking 240p because of the stacked sensor, I think. And now this, we're having weird problems, Nikon partially stacked. I don't know, man. I think Sony doesn't have the problems on their stacked sensors, and Canon, maybe they figured it out on the R5 II. Here I got some footage of Cam Mackey. Go subscribe down below. He shoots some good content. He's sponsored by DJI a lot these days, but he got that Western look going for him, so he's one of my favorite channels. Go subscribe to him. He releases videos all the time. He's good at color grading, and he's Western. Subscribe down below. I just love going downtown. Like, I live in the best city for this. Just, I see unique looking people wearing interesting things, and it's like, oh, that guy looks cool. There's a couple of mother-son team with the matching shirts. Come on. Oh, that is fun times right there. That is just love waiting to happen. This girl looked cool with her tattoos, and then we got a interracial couple. Oh my goodness, will they have a baby? This woman looking at her bag. What's in there? Did I forget my laundry card? Oh no, why do I have to travel so far just to do laundry? Mom, are you there? Why aren't you answering? What's wrong? There's so much that could happen. Here's a couple in love or about to break up. You never really know, do you? But they seem in love, and I like to imagine they will later on tonight have dinner, and afterwards it's up to them what they want to do. Look at that guy's hair. Come on. That is cool. That is some cool rainbow colored hair. That guy. And Nikon chose to focus on him. I like that. There was that one guy, he was very obvious. That's the guy you want to focus on, and Nikon did it. Sometimes you just have to get lucky. It's not like I'm tapping on, oh, tap on the middle guy. I don't have time for that. So I'm not sure where I even stand on Nikon as a company. Like, do I regret buying it? Not really, because it's the best wildlife system for sure, and that's why I bought it. I just happen to have some other lenses that I'm using, and then I can do other things with it. And now you finally matched the A7S III spec, so it's like, okay, we have that, but I don't know, man. I guarantee you, if I went out with the R5 II and the 85mm 1.2 EF lens, of course, Mark 1, the magic, your mind would be blown. You'd be like, holy shit. Did you hire Spielberg, take DNA from his colon, give it to Mark Zuckerberg to fund a Quentin Tarantino brain implant? You'd be like, holy shit, man. I think Canon would be better overall, but for wildlife, I want my prime. I'd have to downgrade to that 600mm Tony 11. But like, should I sell the Z6 and my 600mm and get the Canon? I'm debating it. I debate it every day. But when it comes to like dynamic range and image quality and all this shadow noise, I'm not seeing any of that as a deal breaker. And it's just, there's two types of camera reviewers. There's the guy who goes out and films and does his thing that he loves doing and gets that and shows you what that's like and all the quirks of using the camera. It's like, oh, you can't change into auto ISO very quick. You have to hold this button. It's awkward. There's that guy. And then there's the scientist who just does these boring in a living room shot. And it's just side by side. Here's every ISO mathematically documented. And like, no one uses the camera like that. Maybe you'll see some noise in his situation where you underexpose 5 stops and then you bring it up and it's like, see, look, A7S III is better. And it's like, but is it in the real world? Like, just go shoot how you would shoot. Whenever, I don't even do reviews. I have not reviewed this camera. I never will. When I get it, I just go out and use it how I want to use it for multiple videos. So I do like 10 reviews across all areas. It's worse, probably. But like, I'm not a brochure. Most people are just advertising. They're reading through the spec sheet and it's like, do you realize you're a commercial? You're an infomercial. Like, who paid you? No one even paid you to do it. Like, you're just reading off what they would want you to do. Did you get MK Ultra'd by Canon? And they're just like, they put the spec sheet into your brain and then you got home and you're like, okay, here, this does 4K 120p with the crop, 8K 60, who's saying this? Like, don't be afraid of the ghost in your mind. Just go use it. You don't have to be like this salesman. You're not even getting paid. You're not on the books. You don't get a commission for your little affiliate sales. That's a thing that would have happened anyway. You just go use the camera. You bunch of donkey meat, bitch. I pluralized it fast enough that you didn't even notice it. Canon C100 Mark II is the best camera of our time. I'm sorry for doubting you, ever. You're the best. Autofocus included. It's very good. So, Nikon, you're all right. I'll keep you for a bit. You got 1 month to impress me after you donate Bitcoin. Subscribe to my next